Hey folks, thanks for joining us for this week's Hangout series on contributors and committers. So this week we're going to be talking about the Eclipse's website refresh with Gandon, who is the senior web developer here and was one of the leads on getting this implemented. So he's basically going to give us a quick overview of where it came from, what's happening, and we'll have sort of a Q&A back and forth, and a bit of a demo, a live demo on how to actually take a project page from the old theme and update to the new theme. So I'll just turn it over to Chris here. See the screen here.
All right, Hi, Chris, everyone.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Good. All right. So can you give us a little bit of background what you do here at the Eclipse Foundation?
I've been working at the Eclipse Foundation for about 3 years now. I started off working with Ian Skerritt and the marketing team, but just recently moved with the IT team, working closely with Denis Roy, Matt Ward, and Tan Ha, and my partner in crime, Eddie Poitras, which is also another web developer at the Eclipse Foundation, and mainly. My role at the Eclipse Foundation and Eddie's role also is to maintain most of our web services websites. For example, all the EclipseCon websites, the Eclipse Marketplace, the Eclipse packaging site to manage all of the Eclipse packages, obviously www.eclipse.org, all of the working group websites like the science website, the LTS, and also we've started to slowly migrate the work that's been done by Wayne Beaton for the project, the PMI. So me and Eddie, well, mostly Eddie is going to take over the PMI and start taking care of that website. So we do a lot of Drupal, a lot of PHP, and we try to contribute code back to Drupal, and basically our role at the Eclipse Foundation is to help the community, with upgrading their website to obviously to the new theme, and also help updating, migrating, and taking care of all our Drupal sites.
That's kind of cool. I didn't know you guys were the marketplace. I didn't know that you guys were involved in that side. That's kind of cool. So the website went, the refresh went live June 11th. So if you saw it before June 11th, it was something that was quite old and non-mobile friendly. June 11th rolls up, and all of a sudden it's just an amazing website. It's mobile friendly, device friendly. Can you kind of tell us sort of a quick history of where this sort of came from, where the refresh came from?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. I think it started really at EclipseCon Boston. In 2013, where we noticed that a lot of our users or attendees were trying to access our website using either their tablets or their phone to either get information about Eclipse, but also to view the schedule, to read about speakers, and we were doing a really bad job at it. We got a lot of feedback at that conference regarding that, and so at that moment I decided to experiment with Bootstrap and other technologies like Foundation that we're using for the EclipseCon to see how much work it would take us to actually migrate our current website to a more mobile friendly website. So at that moment, I decided to update the Eclipse Nova theme, the previous look and feel, and attach Bootstrap on top of that, and create the first implementation of our working group landing page. And at that moment, we saw that it was really important for us to have our website and our content accessible on mobile or tablets, because you never know how the user is gonna access our website. Maybe he's on the go, maybe he's on a meeting and needs some quick information. So yeah, we decided to at that moment we saw it was really important. So Ian Skerritt, my manager at the time, decided and thought it was a good idea for us to start thinking of creating a new look and feel, and also create a new website that would be accessible for mobile. So at that time, we organized a team from the community to help us brainstorm ideas, and from then on, we hired a web designer, Matt, join us, and we started working on the new look and feel, and that eventually that's live since June 11th.
That's pretty cool. I like the idea that you basically had this idea and started hacking around on it and said, "Hey, check this out. Here you go." Like I really like that way you kicked it off. So very open source, a very open source way of doing things, right? Try something out, and then all of a sudden it takes traction, off you go, right?
Yeah, see if it works and if it makes sense, and then go from there, right? And
so we're looking at the new theme right now in your browser. Can you kind of give us a quick talk about the new theme and maybe just one or two kind of highlights of the technical side of it?
Sure. So yeah, so we started using Bootstrap, obviously. So as I said before, so we're using Bootstrap. So anything that's available that comes with Bootstrap, like the grid, menu, nav bars, buttons, slideshows, collapse menus, all those things that come with Bootstrap are now available for any developer that's working on a project website. We're also using Bower and Grunt to manage all of our packages, and Grunt to assemble those packages. We're also using Font Awesome for icons. We've decided to replace the default glyph icons with Font Awesome just because we think they look nicer, and there's also more options, more icons. Obviously, we're using jQuery. We're using Solstice Asset, which I recommend people to look at. I think we'll add a link on the wiki page, but basically all of the custom CSS, they're basically less files. So all the custom styles that were created for Solstice are available with that package, and we're using YAM, which is yet another mega menu for Bootstrap.
Yeah, we'll so folks who watch along here, we'll have at the bottom of the comments, basically all the links for the website. Chris has come up with what's got a really great documentation page and walkthrough, so we'll have that set up, and we'll also have the main bug that we're using that actually Chris is using in Bugzilla. So look for that at the end of in the comment section. So that's really kind of exciting. So we talked about it's mobile friendly. Use Bootstrap. Are there any other new features that that are there?
Well, if you look at the design of the website, we added something that I'm really excited about. We added a breadcrumb that is available on all the pages of the website. So it's a way to easily navigate, from different level of our website. For example, if you go to our downloads page and then click to the standard package. You have a sense of where you're at within the website, so it's easy for you to go back and click, let's say, the package link and see all the packages, or go click the download link and go back to the download page. So that's something I'm really excited about. We added a sign in and a create account on all the pages at the top of the right that will hopefully give you a sense of if you're currently logged in or not. And also make it easier for people to create accounts, and because you need to create an account if you need to, open a bug for an issue, or if you want to update one of our wiki page. We've also added useful links in the footer of every page. So I think that's something that's really cool and useful. For example, if you're reading a page. You don't need to go back up to the main menu to navigate to something else.
Yeah, no, I really like that. I like the breadcrumbs. It's always such a balance between having too little or too much content, and not really knowing where you're supposed to look. And I think it has a good blend. The breadcrumbs tell you exactly where you are, and all the pages just have they're not saturated with content, which I think is which is really welcome. That sort of minimalist look, and the bottom tags, all the social media and high level links are it's just easy for me to get around and find what I want to find, or jump to the next section. So that's really cool.
Yes, that's what's one of the vision of Ian's Curate. He really wanted us to create something that basically his vision was less is more. Basically, give what the user wants, but nothing more, and don't get confused with adding extra links. And I think it made a huge difference. I think it made our website really easier to use now.
I agree. Like the white space, lots of white space is really easy on the eye, and less is certainly more. And speaking of less, what are some of the things that aren't going to change with the refresh? Is there any areas that aren't going to change or minimally change? I mean, I've heard some talk about Bugzilla. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so when we first released the theme, we were basically concentrating on the Eclipse.org and most of the landing page. The projects did a really good job migrating their project website. There's still a lot of projects that still need to upgrade, and I'm available to help anyone that have questions. But regarding other websites, for example, Bugzilla, it's currently using the old theme, but we are in the process of adding the header and the footer to Bugzilla. We're going to keep basically Bugzilla the same, but at least we're going to keep a consistent look and feel. The same with Garrett Seagate. But regarding the Eclipse Marketplace, we're actually looking at a full redesign, and also the PMI. Eddie Quatra is going to work on the next 2 quarters on applying the new Solstice theme, but also redesigning the content and redesigning the workflow of when you're navigating the PMI.
I think that's awesome. I think Bugzilla is you put a little bit of you keep it a little consistent, but I'm excited about the PMI. And if you're some Eclipse projects out there right now, you'll know that the PMI is our project management interface, and it's basically how you write a proposal right now. How you create release reviews, release records. Commit generate CQs. It's quite a big piece of infrastructure for us, and I think it's great, but the UX is it needs some work. It definitely needs work. So this excites me. It's something I interact with pretty much daily with projects on. So I'm excited to see where this is going to go in the next couple quarters, actually. So let's probably get to the best part that people have probably wanting us to put in the first part. We started off. How does a project go about updating to the new theme? What does that involve? What's that take for them?
I think it's really easy. Basically, a project or a web page, they only need to change the first parameter when using the app pass when they're generating a page. So basically, you'd want to update if you were using Nova, you would want to update the Nova string with Solstice. So basically, that's all you would technically need to do to upgrade. Obviously, some projects wrote some custom code, custom HTML, custom CSS on top of Nova. We don't expect those things to work nicely, but anything that the foundation supported for Nova should technically work very nicely with Solstice. So a project might need to clean up a little bit if they wrote custom code. If they didn't, things should work flawlessly. I'm going to do a demo to show you how easy it was for us to update the Eclipse About Us page. Last night I pushed out a new documentation page where basically I'm using the Orion embedded editor, and I'm showing off code snippet for a bunch of different components that I've created that project can start using right away. I'm also showing how to upgrade to Solstice, and also I have links to all the packages that we're using, so links to Font Awesome, to Bootstrap, jQuery, so all the stuff you would want to start learning or read about, and things that you can start using right off the bat. That's basically it. And also, we're currently we made available a staging server. So basically, if a project would like to start testing out their website with Solstice without pushing it live, they could commit the code to a branch called staging, push it out, and then go to staging.eclipse.org/whatever their standard URL is. And basically, the staging server will load that staging branch and show you how the page would work. And if everything is fine, you can then merge that to master, wait a few minutes, and go on eclipse.org and review your page, and it should just work the same way it was working on your staging branch.
So that's the great thing. Like, I mean, like, not only the refresh is great, but also you've flipped the documentation to me. I've had a quick look over it. And it's, it looks well written. That's the great thing. It's it's easy. There's snippets, links. I think that's one of the really things you look for in any type of open source is how great the documentation and is it developer friendly. And I'm not a web developer, but I look at the documentation. It's easy on the eye. There's lots of snippets there. There's lots of things to get you going. And I think that'll really make it easy for folks for their project pages,
Yeah, exactly. That's my hope, anyways. Make it easy.
So, yeah, so let's just walk through this quick demo here.
Yeah. So basically, I'm going to show how I updated the Eclipse About Us page. So it's a very straightforward process. So just let me know, Richard, once you see my...
your Eclipse IDE is up, yeah.
Perfect. So basically, for the org subsite, we're including on all the pages the _ project comment. I think a lot of projects are using this. So basically, the theme variable is currently set to Nova. So I'm going to switch this to Solstice. And I'll show you on the index page. Basically, when we at the end of the page, we're using the app class to generate a page, and basically the theme variable is the first parameter you would set. You could also set this to null, and by setting this to null, you assure yourself that in the future, if we ever push out a new theme, you would always be using the latest default Eclipse.org theme. But if you would like more control, you probably want to set this to whatever the last theme you've tested your page with. So basically, I switched this to Solstice, and if I go to my browser, you don't see my browser right now, right? I need to switch this. Do you see my browser, Richard?
Oh, sorry, no, I don't see the browser yet.
Okay, let me switch this. Just let me know once you see it.
Yeah.
So basically,
there we go. It's up now.
So the page was using Nova, right? And if I just refresh, I should be using Solstice, right?
Yeah, there we go. That's that easy. One variable change. So you're just changing the Nova variable to Solstice, right?
Yeah, you're changing the first parameter in a generate page, and you just set it to either null or Solstice. I would recommend it to use Solstice. This way you have a little bit more control, but either one is pretty good.
Well,
so that's pretty much it.
Well, that's great. So, thanks a lot, Chris. I think we've got so you'll find at the end of the video here in the link section, we've got links to Chris's documentation, as well as other links to the to Bugzilla if you're going to file bugs against the website. So Chris, jump in here. So if you want, so someone has they find a broken link or they want to contribute, the best way that is to really push it towards Bugzilla, right?
Yeah, Bugzilla I think is the way to go for bug reports, or just because it allows more people to look at it and post comments and help us make the right decision.
Yeah, and so we're going to file that under the.
So I created like a Eclipse.org redesign container bug where I try to track all the Solstice-related bugs. So the bug number is 4323, 43, 23, 42. But I think you're going to link to that.
Yeah, we're gonna have all that. So that'll be the blocker bug for any improvements or bug fixes that folks find. Again, you'll find at the end here in the link section. You're on pretty much all the social media channels, and it's quite easy to get hold of yourself. So
I'm on Twitter, and I'm also available on RSC whenever. I try to be there more often. So on Freenode, the Eclipse Foundation channel.
So I would say to folks that are new to this, you find something you're not quite sure about the process, how to file a bug, you've never been to look to Bugzilla, and you'll find that at bugs.eclipse.org. So you can either send an email to myself at emo@eclipse.org or or webmaster@eclipse.org, and we'll push those off to the right people and get you started. So I think that's good on this end here, Chris. So folks have any questions, get in touch with us and let us know what you think. So we'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Have a great weekend. Again, thanks a lot, Chris. This was definitely pretty cool. It's definitely a big step for the Eclipse Foundation. Just having a really accessible and mobile, device-friendly tablet website for folks. So awesome to everyone involved on making this happen.
Yes, awesome. Thanks. It's my pleasure.
All right. Later.
Take care.